What's up everyone and welcome. My name is Jackson and I'm a smart contract developer on blockchain with over 8 years of experience, and today I wanted to share something real interesting and useful with all of you guys. Today, step by step, I wanted to go over my personal strategy or how I have been making Ethereum in the past couple weeks. I'm averaging from 1 to 4 Ethereum on a daily basis by engaging an AI-powered trading bot. We see that Ethereum has been doing real well in this cycle, and the bot constantly scans different dexes and pools to find the best arbitrage deals for me and complete them. It is buying Ethereum at lower prices and selling at higher prices. So before we begin, I have to mention that a MetaMask wallet extension like the one I just showed you guys is required to do this. You will see later on in the video why in more detail, but I will leave the link to download it from the official website in the first pinned comment on YouTube. Also, I will leave the link which you are seeing right now to the GitHub there as well. Here I have posted the open source code for the smart contract on which the bot runs. The code is 100% verifiable, so if you know how to code, you're more than welcome to check it out for yourself to make sure it is secure, legal and legit. And if you don't know how to code, you can always bring it to an audit. So now we're gonna go to remix.ethereum.org. Here is what it should look like, and if you don't know what it is a compiler for the EVM network. So we're gonna create a new file in the contract tab and name it bot.sol. It is essential that we name it exactly like this, and then I'm gonna paste in the code from GitHub. Now before we get to business and compile the code for YouTube's guidelines, I have to mention that this video is done purely for entertainment purposes. I'm not giving out any advice and I'm only showing my personal experience. So for our compiler, as that is out of the way, let us choose 8.4 Pragma Solidity. We can also see it right here in the code. If we fail to choose this or choose anything else, the code will simply not compile. Now, as our compilation has been successful, let's go to the deploy transaction and environment menu. Here for my environment settings, I will choose injected provider MetaMask, and that is exactly what I was talking about earlier on in the video. If you don't have a MetaMask wallet extension like this, you will not have that setting in Remix. So if your Ethereum is on some exchange like Binance or Bybit or other wallet like Trust or Exodus, get it to MetaMask and get this extension. So I have just deployed the contract by pressing deploy in Remix. We're getting this basic screen in MetaMask prompting us to deploy our smart contract. So I'm gonna choose aggressive for the speed of our transaction to not keep you guys waiting for too long, because I don't really want to do any cutouts throughout the video to show the entire process. Now if we navigate back to MetaMask and go to our activity tab here, we see that we have a contract deployment pending. So usually it takes about 10 to 15 seconds to deploy the smart contract, and with the aggressive speed it cost me about $7 every single time, and that's the most expensive thing that I'm gonna do today in terms of fees. So we get the green check here, we see that it is confirmed in MetaMask, and now our deployed contracts window has been updated. Here we have our smart contract, all of the settings for it, and we can also copy the address, which I have just done. Now I'm gonna go to etherscan.io to look up my smart contract address, which I have just deployed in Remix. Make sure everything is live on blockchain, and then I will be able to proceed. So let's paste in the code real quick and look it up. Give it a couple of seconds to load, and boom guys, perfect. Now we see that my contract is live on the blockchain. So now the next step that I'm gonna do is go back to my MetaMask wallet and send over the Ethereum that I want to work with today to the smart contract address. So let me paste it in right here. The minimum to do this is 0.1 Ethereum. It is specified that it is better to do 0.5, 0.6 for better slippage, but I'm just gonna do 1 Ethereum today, and the math is gonna be pretty easy for you guys to count everything and just see the clean profit off of it. So now as my Ethereum is being sent, we're seeing that it is labeled as a contract interaction, and honestly for me personally, that is another aspect that I favor in this strategy, that the smart contract is the only thing we're interacting with throughout the entire process of doing this. So we are deploying it ourselves and we're the only ones who have control over it. So that adds a layer of security for me personally, and I'm just calm that I'm not really interacting with third-party links or somebody else's addresses. So now as my Ethereum has actually reached the smart contract address, I gotta go back to Remix and give it just about another 10 to 15 seconds to update the balance here. It is a bit more time than on Etherscan, but as you can see, it is already updated as well. So now the last thing that I'm gonna do before I leave the bot to trade by itself fully automatically is hitting the start native function, which runs the script and actually initializes your trading session. So I'm gonna pick aggressive. It doesn't really matter at this point. It's a couple of cents for difference and it's gonna start faster. So now I'm gonna leave it for a couple hours to trade by itself and check in with you guys when my trading session is done to share my results. Alright my friends, what was just a split second for you was a bit over 2 hours for me, 2 hours and 16 minutes to be exact. And as I go into Remix and Etherscan to check up on my balance, I see that my balance has been updated to over 1.27 Ethereum. So that's over 0.27 Ethereum in clean profit in just a bit more than 2 hours. So now the last function that I wanted to demonstrate with the same wallet I used a couple hours ago in the first part of the video is clicking withdraw in Remix and withdrawing the money from the smart contract back onto MetaMask wallet. So I'm gonna pick aggressive again. Our transaction request summarizes the amount of Ethereum we have earned with our investment. So now any second as my transaction is going through, I should be expecting my Ethereum. We see that the withdrawal is pending right here in the activity tab. So any second now guys, it should be landing, and yes, we are seeing it already. Now that leaves me at almost 5k, so I'm completely satisfied for the day, including the fact that it was just done in a couple of hours, not even 3 hours, not even 2.5 guys. So I will leave everything required in the first pinned comment to do this. I hope this information will be useful to someone who is trying to stack Ethereum in this bull run. So thank you for your attention. This was Jackson.